Devin Graves coming to you once again from Studio D. And today I want to talk about why I don't use a Patchbay in my studio. I noticed a lot of videos today teaching you how to use a Patchbay, all the reasons that Patchbays are important. The flock Patchbay, which is well over $2,000 for a digital type of Patchbay. And all of that is well and good, and I can understand why people would need it. But I have my studio set up to where I do not need one. I have a Patchbay, but you might notice it's not in my rack and there's nothing plugged into it, and there is a reason for that. Basically, all of my analog gear that I use, you see behind me here, is purpose chosen. There's a specific mic plugged into a specific preamp, usually intended for a specific instrument, anywhere from drums to guitar cabinets to lead vocals. Whatever it is, I have it basically patched in permanently and patched into their respective inputs on the audio interface of Pro Tools. I have 48 ins and 48 outs on my system. It's a Lynx Aurora 16-channel in, 16-channel out, plus a 16-channel in and out Digidesign 192 I/O, and I even have a Digidesign 96 I/O kicking around that I just use for monitoring for tracking or something if I ever need that. But I don't recommend the 96 I/O, incidentally. It doesn't sound as good as the rest. But out of all these 48 ins and outs, I use 18 of them for all the preamps that I have patched in. And I have in Pro Tools all of the inputs labeled for the preamp that they're assigned to. So if I need to install the Neve on a channel, I just go to my input selection set list and just select the Neve. I have any stereo pairs of preamps put in as two individual mono patches plus a conjoined stereo patch, which works for either recording or mixing. And I can put them into the input of the channel in Pro Tools, or I can bring them into a insert on the channel for mixing. The rest of the outputs that I have go to this Mackie 8-bus console, where I can actually do a full 32-track analog mix on the console. And I want to experiment with that in the future, the analog versus digital mixing capabilities. I use the Mackie also for blending multiple microphones down to a single input on the audio interface. There are reasons for that. The analog summing often sounds better than the digital summing. So rather than recording two mics into two tracks on Pro Tools, I send them to the Mackie, blend them there. I can even EQ a little bit to taste, and then that one single bus output can go into a Pro Tools input. Mainly I use the 32-channel mixing console for teaching. I use it for some videos that I'm going to be doing in the future, and some courses I'm going to be doing on audio using the mixing console occasionally instead of using the DAW, because the mixing console kind of makes the point easier to make. Of course, I have a template that I use for recording that has, as I said, all of my preamps are labeled for their respective inputs, and they're already laid out across the channels. For example, all my drums, or I have my APIs for the snare. I have the tone beast for the kick drum, or the Focusrites for the overheads, etc. So it's all just permanently laid out, and I just basically hit record and go. Everything is permanently mic'd, and everything is permanently patched. If there ever is a time that I do need to make a change, either change a microphone into a preamp or just change the signal flow, because some of my channel strips are piecemealed together, like I have my Neve 1073s with a 1176 in each of the inserts. And if I wanted to put those 1176s into, say, the Focusrite, or put another compressor into the Neves or what have you, I can just step around back to the rack. I have that rack that's back there. It's hand built. I built it out of pure solid hardwood, and it's not against a wall. There's my drum room just behind that rack, so it's not like it's blocked by a wall, and it's not like I have to crawl under some mixing desk where all the patches are out of reach. No, I can simply just walk to the back, shine a light on there, plug in what I need to plug in. Super easy. And the advantage to not having a patch bay is it's simple, that I don't need it, but it also eliminates any troubleshooting issues I might have with a bad patch cable. It eliminates several connections. It eliminates the 4 connections per channel, basically. And every time you have a connection, you potentially lose a bit of signal quality. I've heard of, these highbrow engineers talking about which patch bays sound good and which ones don't, and some of them insisting that no patch bays sound good. I mean, I don't go that far, but I just eliminate that whole hornet's nest, and I just leave the patch bay sitting on a shelf in a storage closet, only to bring it out for a video like this. One thing about repatching things, as an added bonus, one thing I love about the Neve 1073s that I have is that they have an additional set of inputs on the front. It's XLR and line level input, one of those combo jacks. And if I want to use different microphones for any given reason, because permanently in there I have my Neumann U67 in channel 1, and which I use for vocals, and in channel 2 I have my Blue Woodpecker ribbon mic, which is on my Fender guitar cabinet, and I use that for my clean tones or my edge of distortion guitar tones, and that's just permanently mic'd up, permanently ready to go. And if I want to use that Neve for anything else, and I do, that's usually the set that I will use for something else, like, say, for example, room mics. Well, I can take my pair of U87s and plug them into those front jacks, and then select those front jacks with buttons that are on the front panel of the device. And that way I can leave my other microphones patched in, and it's really easy to get in and out of that with an additional set of microphones without disrupting what I already have set up. So that's a little added bonus. Also, that tone beast that I have on the top of the rack, it's out of focus, you can't really see it, but it's there. It has a similar facility. So those are the simple reasons why I have a patch bay but don't use it. I didn't buy it because I'm a masochist. I bought it because I thought I would use it, but I just ended up setting things up to where it's just not necessary. Not necessary for me anyway. Your mileage may vary, and I don't want to discourage you from using a patch bay, and I'm not saying that people aren't smart for doing so. I can certainly see the arguments for using a patch bay. If you don't have your rack open in the back, openly accessible, and if you don't have enough inputs to permanently patch all of your preamps in, like I finally at last do, then a patch bay might be the answer for you. But for me, it's just not needed, and that's why I don't use it. So I hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe. I'm trying to grow this channel without saying something bad about Ken Tamplin. And if you would please leave a comment, tell me what you like about a patch bay, tell me what you don't like about patch bays, tell me what you want to know about patch bays, and I will see you on the next one.